What is going on, friends? This is Matt Carter, your source for everything real estate related in and around the London area on YouTube. If this is your first time here, make sure you show me some love, get that algorithm going, hit that like button, hit the subscribe, and make sure you hit the bell so you get notified for all my videos coming up in the future. All right, so what I'm going to be talking about today is a question that I get from a lot of buyers and even sellers wondering just the best time to move. And now this is not just exclusive within London. This is pretty much across at least Ontario, a lot of Canada as well. Things change a little bit if you get into the southern states a bit with the weather and everything, which I'll get into. But for the most part, if you're in North America, if you're in Canada, and especially in London area, this will be applicable for you. So we're going to start at the top with the seasons of the year, and we're going to start with the spring. And the spring market is something that you've probably heard a lot about in the past. It's a really popular time for a lot of people to be both buying and selling. And a lot of the transaction volume that occurs during the year occurs during the spring months. You'll find that people are a lot more motivated within these spring months. The weather's starting to get a little nicer from hibernating over the winter. The school year is coming to an end shortly, so if you are purchasing something, you will most likely be moving into it within those summer months where the kids have time off school, so you're not going to have to juggle getting your kids to and from school and managing a move at the same time. Also, a lot of people tend to take vacation during the summer, so they have a little bit more time freed up, and you could just make that transition from your current house to your new house the whole lot smoother. So hopping right into the summer months that we were just talking about, if you're looking to buy and sell in these months, you are going to get a little bit of a slowdown. We do get a little bit of a dip in activity during these months. There's not as many people looking. There's not as many people looking to sell as well, because if you look into the future, you're gearing up for the fall, back to school, all that kind of fun stuff. So if you are looking to buy and sell in summer, like I mentioned before, a lot of people are going to be taking vacations during that time, and a large portion of the people who are in the market for that current year bought something back in the spring market and are doing their move during the summer. The one upside for the summer, and if you're a buyer, you might be looking to get a little bit of a deal, and I say deal, I'll put it in quotes, if you've been looking in this market in the last couple of years, and that's because you're going to get a little less competition out there looking for homes, but at the same time, you're not going to have as many people putting their home up for sale, so it's kind of a trade-off in the end. That being said, you could manage to swoop in on some deals during the summer if there just isn't as many eyes and activity on certain homes, so definitely try to take advantage of that if you can. So jumping forward into the fall months, you're going to get a little bit of an uptick that we saw from the summer market, where we saw a little bit of a dip. So a little bit more people are going to come out of the woodwork looking for homes. If you get in the early fall market, they're going to get a lot of people trying to jump the gun a little bit on the start of the school year, and just there's a lot of things that do happen to fall at the beginning of the fall months, such as beginning of a lot of activities for kids and so forth. So you might try to get a little bit of a jump. There might be a little bit more activity towards the very beginning of the fall. Then there might be a little bit of a slowdown around those busy times, beginning of September timeframe when kids are going back to school. There's a lot of tryouts generally that time of the month. So a little bit of a slowdown, and then the fall market does pick up again once everything quiets down a little bit. Most of the people looking to buy or sell in the fall are looking to get everything wrapped up by the winter time, especially the December timeframe once the holidays roll around. So a lot of people don't want to be moving into the winter months, and therefore all the closings and a lot of the sales that are going to happen, you're generally going to see in the end of September into October, maybe the beginning of November as well, before you start to see a little bit of a dip, in order to get a lot of those transactions wrapped up before mid-December. So, and finally, moving on into the winter months, it's generally going to be the slowest months of activity that we're going to see in the market. Like I mentioned, once the holidays roll around, not a lot of people are going to be looking. Some people even go on holidays during the winter time to kind of go somewhere warmer. And also just not a lot of people want to be out and about looking at homes when it is inclement weather. You get snowstorms and blizzards and all that stuff. A lot of people just like to take those months and settle into their house, hibernate a little bit, and then come out of the woodwork in the spring once it starts to warm up a little bit. So all of those that I talked about are very weather dependent, seasonal dependent time of the year. but we also have to consider what state the market is in. So first off is a seller's market, and many of you may be familiar with the seller's market. It's what we've been in most of Ontario, most of North America, and largely across the world as well. Especially since COVID hit, we've had a large ramp up in activity in the market. So a seller's market essentially means that there are more people looking for homes to purchase than there are homes on the market to purchase. If you've been following along with any of my market updates in the past, you'll see that inventory is super low right now. There's a ton of demand, there's a ton of sales activity, but not a lot of homes that are currently active on the market. This leads to huge competition for most houses that are on the market and homes going for over asking with few or no contingencies and conditions on those homes. So if you are a buyer looking to purchase in a seller's market, prepare for a very competitive environment, prepare to pay over asking and have no conditions within your offer. And overall, it might take you a little bit longer than it would if you were in a buyer's market. If you're a seller and you're looking to sell in a seller's market, there's really no better time to do it. You're going to get a lot of interest on your home, and potentially you're going to get the most money possible for your house, everything else considered. So on the flip side, in a buyer's market, if we're in a buyer's market, that means we're in the inverse, which means there's a lot more homes on the market, there's a ton of inventory, and there's fewer people that are looking for homes than what's out there. This can lead to homes sitting on the market for much longer, less competition for those homes, and then when offers are accepted, generally therefore at asking, maybe even less than asking, and they may have some conditions in there which are in favor of the buyers. So if you're a buyer, you definitely want to be purchasing a home during a buyer's market, ideally speaking, because you're going to have less competition and probably have more options available to you. And if you're a seller, you might have to give up some contingencies and kind of maybe settle, quote unquote, for getting your house sold if you are in that buyer's market. And the last market condition that I'm going to be talking about is one that a lot of people don't really think about, and it's moving when mortgage rates are low. So for the last 4 years, mortgage rates have been at historic lows. This has led to what we've seen in the past few years, tons of buyers out there looking for places, not a lot of homes up for sale, and a ton of competition. So if you're looking to purchase, you're definitely going to get a much better rate and you're going to get more lending power when mortgage rates are low. But on the flip side, you're going to have much more competition. Inversely, if mortgage rates go up, there's going to be fewer people looking for those homes potentially, and you might have less competition out there, but you might be paying a little bit more or not qualifying for as much with your lender. At the end of the day, all this doesn't even matter if you're not ready to move. That should be the ultimate determining factor in whether you move or not. It's completely situational. It's completely personal to your own situation, and you need to decide when the best time for you and your family to move is. It's definitely important to keep all the things that I talked to you in mind when you are considering a move, but ultimately, if it's not the right time, it's not the right time. If you're not sure what to do, if you're considering making a move and you don't know if it's right for you, reach out. I'd be happy to talk over your options, give you some of my opinions, and just see what's right for your personal situation. And if you found any value to this content, make sure you pass it along to any friends, as well as hitting that like button, subscribe, and hit that bell to get notified, and to make sure that you see all my videos coming up in the future. Until then, take care.